Hello and welcome to another edition of Full Throttle, bringing you the best of British motorsport from around the UK. Today we're at the Brands Hatch circuit in Kent for big rig race action. Yes, the British Truck Racing Championship is in action alongside the Pickup Truck Racing Championship. Let's head down into the paddock and hear from some of the competitors.
I want to know what it's like in one of these going down Paddock Hill Bend, because people watching might not realise it's actually pretty steep, isn't it?
It's very steep. I mean, all you can see is tarmac until you come up the hill. But I mean, for us, this is the first time we've ever raced in this sort of temperature here. So
yeah.
It's the quickest I've ever been around that circuit today.
Wow.
Which is because we're usually either like April to November. So it's brilliant, you know. I mean, it's a bit of a shame yesterday because we tested in the wet, which was, but the track's so sticky, the tyres are good, so it's only going to improve over the weekend. So
you're going to get
looking
quicker.
Forward. Oh yeah, I mean
quicker.
We're braking late, different gears around bends. We've never raced in these conditions here,
wow.
So it's good and it's a lot faster. I mean, we used to drop half a peg in the first bend. Now we're top gear all the way around.
Really?
So, yeah. So it's
because you've got to be brave, haven't you? You've got to keep your foot
yeah,
in.
You've got to be in it.
Back out.
A bit of left foot braking just to keep it level and then power back out the thing. So it's no, we're looking forward to it. It'll be good. So.
John, talk us through qualifying baking conditions. Was it quick out there?
Yeah, it was quick out there. We just made a couple of mistakes on his final lap. Really, we should have been up to P2, not P4. We lost half a second in turn one, trying a different line.
So you're confident then, come the race, the pace is in this then to get further up?
Yeah, 100% the pace is in it. It's all down to me at the minute.
And Chuck, of course, it was just your first ever qualifying session, wasn't it? What was it like out there?
Yeah, it was good. Better as yesterday in the wet. Enjoyed it. A lot more grip, obviously. Got new tyres on. Learning a load. It's a steep learning curve.
Is that what this weekend's about for you? Is it about learning, or it's still competitive? You still want to give it a good fist, don't you?
Yeah. But we had little problems there. An air leak had to come in and bedding the brakes in. So I only really got 2 or 3 laps, but I've got a little speed signal issue with it, so I need to. Ryan's trying to fix that just now. So,
Well, great to hear from a couple of the drivers there after qualifying down in the paddock with Ian. And we'll bring you the grid lineup for our first of 5 truck races across this weekend. The more powerful Division 1 trucks, the more heavily modified machines, start in the first group, the Division 2 trucks behind them. So in pole position, it will be the reigning 5-time British Truck Racing Champion, number 1, Ryan Smith, debuting a brand new truck this weekend, and alongside him the 10 times British champion, former European champion as well, number 7, Stuart Oliver. On the second row, number 11, Martin Gibson with his MAN, alongside 18, John Newell, also debuting a new truck here today. Row 3, former champion number 69, David Jenkins, starts alongside 81 of Mark Taylor, and a newcomer behind them, 157 from Birmingham, Jonathan Willis, ex-short oval hot rod racer, starts on row 4. Then there's a gap, and then we've got the Division 2 trucks. The reigning champion, number 3, Stephen Powell, we just heard from, was pipped to pole at the end of the session. 68, Craig Reed, it is who takes pole in his Iveco, alongside number 3, Stephen Powell. Behind them, 16 of Brad Smith lines up alongside number 5, Adam Bint in his Volvo White. The next row, number 6, which is John Powell, and 41, Simon Cole in the Mercedes Beast, as it's known. And finally, number 10, Craig Evans, made his debut last season alongside our newcomer, number 32, Jock Borthwick, the Scotsman. He had his qualifying times disallowed for overspeeding during qualifying. These trucks are electronically limited to 100 miles per hour, and you will be penalised if you exceed 100 miles an hour. It is monitored carefully. They have electronic speed limiters fitted to them, but if your truck does go over 100 miles per hour, then you will get a penalty. And in this case, Jock Borthwick had his qualifying times disallowed. He has to start from the back of the grid. Here they come then up towards the red lights when they go out. These 1,000 horsepower engines will release their power. I'm really looking forward to this race. The pace truck is in the pit lane. Up towards the red lights they go. Here we go. The power comes on and away they go. Truck Racing 2021 is underway. Front row men lead them into Paddock Hill Bend. It is a good start by Ryan Smith. The new Mercedes leads the way into the first corner in Division 2. It's side by side between Craig Reed and Stephen Powell. Leading the way it is Ryan Smith. Somebody running a bit wide there. Mark Taylor's got onto the dirt at the back of the Division 1 pack. It's Smith who leads from Oliver, Gibson, then David Jenkins has got ahead of John Newell up into 4th place, and the Division 2 trucks keeping up at the moment with Division 1. We expect to see them split apart. You can see the dirt on the tyres of the 81 there. He went wide coming out of paddock, but he gets past Jonathan Willis up into 6th position. It's Ryan Smith in the Mercedes that leads. Second, the Volvo of Stuart Oliver. Martin Gibson in third place. Somebody running a bit wide there in Division 2. That was Brad Smith in the 16 that ran out wide. He's lost a spot or two. They start to sort themselves out around this first lap of this 15-minute race. Then there's Jonathan Willis on his debut in the 157 truck. Two newcomers in this, of course. Jock Borthwick at the back of the field. There's the grey number 32. There are the leaders in Division 2. It's Ryan Smith leading by nearly 2 seconds at the end of the first lap, ahead of Stuart Oliver. Gibson in third, then Jenkins, Newell, Taylor and Willis. Craig Reed leads Division 2. On our graphics there you can see Division 2 in white, Division 1 in blue. Brown Druids for the second time. Fly-in Ryan Smith going for 6 titles in a row. Look at the lead he's got already in the Mercedes. Oh, and a tangle there. That's Jonathan Willis and Craig Reed. That's the Division 2 leader gone. Oh dear, the Iveco gets itself out of the gravel. Now can Jonathan Willis get the Lawson's Direct MAN going again? Stephen Powell has inherited the lead in Division 2 with his newly liveried MAN. Adam Bint in second in number 5. There's the two Team Oliver Kelso Truck Products machines second and third. David Jenkins up to fourth. Didn't go too well in qualifying. Then John Newell in truck number 18. 11 minutes to go in this first British Truck Racing Association Championship race of the season. Division 1 runners fairly spread out at the moment. It's getting dialed back in really for the new season. 5 races this weekend. The leader is lapping a second quicker than everybody else. There is Ryan Smith. He really is the Lewis Hamilton of truck racing, leading by a similar margin as well, nearly 6 seconds ahead. There's Jonathan Willis in 157 after his off earlier on. A little bit of damage to the rear of the truck where he was clipped by Craig Reed. He's not all that far off, being lapped by Fly-in Ryan in his new Mercedes Actros. Here's Division 2, boys. Powell, Bint, Smith and Borthwick still the order. This is good driving by Jock Borthwick from Hoyk in southern Scotland. A little bit of smoke from the back of Smith's truck there as he goes through Graham Hill Bend. I think that's possibly a very small leak in one of the pipes there. He's lapped Craig Evans in the number 10. Keeping an eye on the number 1 here. You can see Ryan working away. You can see how tightly packed into their cabs these drivers are. Our close up there as Fly-in Ryan continues. It's his lap time this time, so he's lapping under 1 minute. The only driver apart from David Jenkins currently lapping under a minute. The last lap was a 59.4. There's Stuart Oliver in second place, Martin Gibson third and David Jenkins fourth. They pretty much held station for the full duration of this race. Is Jenkins closing up? Yes, he is very slightly on Martin Gibson for third position. Stephen Powell continues to dominate Division 2 with his newly liveried MAN. His gap was 3.2 seconds. Now is Brad Smith closing on him in the slightly lightened number 16. See as they go over the lines, the DAF catching the MAN. Over the line they go, still 3.3 seconds in it. Borthwick happy with the podium place, I think, in third. Craig Reed is next, then Adam Bint. Then Craig Evans and Jonathan Willis the lap down. John Powell has retired into the pits. Craig Evans just gets out of the way. Let's see quicker runners through there. Now David Jenkins has caught Martin Gibson for third. There's a bit of damage to Jenkins' truck there. Didn't see what he hit. He's hit something though, you can see. John Newell, his beautiful new MAN. Built with support from MAN in Germany. Chasing there in 5th position. Gibson gets away a little bit on the straights. Now, David Jenkins doesn't seem to have the straight line speed in the 69 truck here. A couple of laps to go for Fly-in Ryan Smith out in front. There's Brad Smith, no relation, holding off Borthwick for second in Division 2. And here comes Ryan. Certainly a bit of smoke or steam coming from the Mercedes there, but it's not slowing him down. John Newell laps Jonathan Willis. Leader coming up to lap Craig Reed. Just looking at the time left here, 1 minute 20, so I think they're going to get 2 more laps out of this. So we should see a 16-lap race to kick off the season. Oh, and somebody slowed there, that's Borthwick. Borthwick has stopped on the home straights. Now that might be an early finish if he can't get it going again from there, because that could lead to a red flag. The 32 truck has stopped on the front straight I saw there. He was third in Division 2, and the red flag is coming out. We have a red flag because of that stationary truck. I thought the red flag got straight away. There is Jock Borthwick. What a shame. He was on for third in Division 2 on his debut. I don't know what's happened there. He stopped right next to the pit wall, and of course a very dangerous position there with the trucks coming out of Clark Curve hard on the throttle. The red flag comes out. The race will finish with 1 minute to go. So checkered flag showing on the timing screens then, so it will be a win for Ryan Smith. There's only 1 minute or so left to go, so the race I don't think will be restarted. Stuart Oliver second, Martin Gibson third, fourth will be number 69 David Jenkins, fifth number 18 of John Newell, and sixth 81 Mark Taylor. Seventh the Division 2 winner, number 3 Stephen Powell, eighth and second in Division 2 number 16 of Brad Smith, ninth and third in Division 2 recovering after a spin Craig Reed in the 68s. So you see the result confirmed. Jock Borthwick shown as 10th, but he won't be classified as he brought out the red flag. So 10th and 4th in Division 2 will be Adam Bint in the Volvo. 11th overall will be Jonathan Willis on his debut in the MAN. And he will take 7th in Division 1. And the final finisher, number 10, Craig Evans, with his MAN. John Powell pulled off into the pits after a couple of laps. An early finish then to our first truck race of the season, and it's Flying Ryan Smith and Stephen Powell who take the win, starting their title defences in perfect fashion.
Ryan, race 1, congratulations, talk us through it.
Yeah, we went out in quali this morning, obviously the new brand, Mercedes-Benz. It's the first time we've driven it this weekend.
It looks very shiny and new, I have to say.
Yeah, and we went in qualifying, did 1 lap and got a really fast time, so I said to Arnie, the main mechanic, let's come in and see what other people do, and nobody got near it, so that's all it was needed. And race 1, it was just a matter of controlling from the front and you know, doing his job, but it's just a pleasure to be back now after what we've been.
It's so nice, isn't it? What is this thing like to take around the Indy circuit here?
It's very good. You know, a seat card back, weather's good. Yesterday wasn't so good, but we've got new sponsors on board, UFI filters. You know, Arctic are back with us again. It's, you know, we've had companies have gone through tough times, but they've stayed with us, and hopefully this year can be a successful year again.
Well, it certainly was last year, wasn't it? Race 2 coming up, of course. Now I heard a little birdie tells me you were saying you can go even quicker.
We can go quicker, but it's about saving the tyres, saving the engine. So the guys aren't going to work till late. So we'll play safe. We'll get round turn 1 in single file. Then we'll start attacking and trying to pick people off and see what we can do from there. But the early signs with the new Mercedes is good. As I said, we've got new support with the sponsors. The partners have been fantastic. So, you know, we're on to something good this year, I think.
I think so. Look, what sort of life can you get out of these tyres? I mean, how long do they last?
We should do today if we keep taking the inside rears to the front. So we should get on today and see how they hold up by the end of play today. And see where we go from there.
So, man, best of luck for race 2. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
A reverse grid in each division from race 1, so it's 157 Jonathan Willis, the newcomer, who starts on pole for this second race alongside 81 Mark Taylor. Second row 18 John Newell and 69 of David Jenkins. Then on row 3 Martin Gibson number 11 alongside number 7 Stuart Oliver. Ryan Smith number 1 has to start from row 4 this time. Then there's a gap and we've got division 2. The 2 non-finishers from race 1 should be starting from the very back. They don't count in the reverse grid. So in pole position for Division 2, number 10, Craig Evans, alongside 5, Adam Bint. Second row, 68, which is Craig Reed, and 16 of Brad Smith. Third row, number 3, Stephen Powell, and 32, Jock Borthwick. And the final row, 6, John Powell, and 41, Simon Cole should be there. The pace truck is in pit lane. Here we go, race 2 of the weekend, the final race of this Saturday for the British Truck Racing Association Championship. Jonathan Willis and Mark Taylor on the front row. They come up towards the red lights. The power comes on and away they go. Super start by Mark Taylor. He will take the early lead as they go into Paddock Hill Bend. Division 2 are flagged off behind. Craig Evans and Adam Bint leading them down towards Paddock. Looks like it's Bint in the Volvo. Oh, we've got a spinner. We've got a couple of spinners seen from the cab of Martin Gibson there. He's got through on the inside. One of them is Mark Taylor. The other is Jonathan Willis. We've lost our 2 front row men already, and I think that has put Martin Gibson into the lead as they come out of Druids for the first time. So the red flag is out. We'll try and see the reason. We've got a couple of trucks, in fact we've got several trucks in the gravel trap at Paddock Bend. Stuart Oliver is one of them. Mark Taylor and Jonathan Willis have gone off as well. We'll try and see a replay.
Yes, indeed. Just looking down onto the bottom of Paddock Hill now, we've got Trucks Ride Recovery starting the laborious task of dragging the two stranded trucks out of the gravel. But yes, Stuart Oliver seems to be relatively unscathed, just showing those many years of experience now, the ability to get yourself going on the gravel.
We've just seen a replay of what happened there. It was a bit of an over-optimistic lunge by David Jenkins trying to get up the inside. He clipped the back of Mark Taylor and sent him into a spin. So that's what happened. Willis and Oliver went off in avoidance. Here they come up towards the red lights on board with Martin Gibson as we get underway. What's going to happen this time? Into Paddock Hill Bend up towards nearly 100 miles an hour before they reach Paddock Bend. Mark Taylor and Jonathan Willis are going to join in from the pit lane. Adam Bint has taken the lead in Division 2 in his Volvo, but it's John Newell who leads the way up into Druids for the first time. David Jenkins in second, Martin Gibson's third, and it looks like so far they've all got round okay with John Newell in the lead.
Yes, looking back to Division 2 now as we just come round Druids. Steve Powell trying to make his way down through Graham Hill. Craig Reed trying to get past Jock Borthwick newcomer, who's doing quite well to hold his own at the first half of this race. But Adam Bint screaming ahead of the Division 2 pack, closely followed by Brad Smith.
So there are the Division 2 leaders coming through clear ways. Stephen Powell in behind Borthwick, as you say there, Pointy. Simon Cole under fire as well, but it's John Newell who will lead the first lap then over the line ahead of David Jenkins. Martin Gibson behind them, Ryan Smith's doing the fourth. He's got ahead of Stuart Oliver. Then the Division 2 leaders already, the cavalry charge from the pit lane starting to come through. Mark Taylor and Jonathan Willis, but John Newell under pressure, the tanker lorry businessman from South Yorkshire, under fire from David Jenkins. On board with Martin Gibson, charges his way down Graham Hill, chasing after David Jenkins, holding third place at the moment. You can see how hard he is having to work at the wheel of that MAN. The first five breaking clear slightly. Then we've got the Division 1 and 2 mixed further back as David Jenkins up the inside as they go into Surtees, and he takes the lead away from John Newell.
Absolutely super tight pat now as Ryan Smith riding the bumper of John Newell. Certainly not going to make it easy for him though, is John. Of course, Stuart Oliver and Martin Gibson behind them as well. Ryan now looking for the inside line. Can he squeeze past John? Oh, he's on the grass, but John not quite letting the door shut. Unfortunately, no. Ryan takes that now straight through. Quite a professional move, and I do believe we see Stuart Oliver making the move past John Newell. He must be having some kind of issues with the truck today, Dave.
Well, Stuart Oliver coming through there as well. Martin Gibson will possibly try and see what happened to him at Paddock Bend a lap ago. We may have a replay of that from the number 11 truck. Yeah, Ryan Smith was there on the inside. Was there contact there? I think Ryan may have just bounced off the curb coming out of Paddock, which sent Martin Gibson out wide. He just ran out of room. I don't think there was any contact there. Martin bouncing through the gravel on the outside, and Stuart Oliver able to come through as well. So the lead is with David Jenkins from Ryan Smith now. 1.5 seconds in it at the end of the last lap. It'll be less than that this time. Oliver third, Gibson fourth. Fifth is John Newell. Still leading Division 2 is Adam Bint, looking for his first win in a couple of years. He had a fair few problems with the black Volvo White last season. It seems a bit of a misnomer to call it a Volvo White in that livery, doesn't it?
Yes, indeed. Had the new livery for last year's season, and a couple of technical issues really held him back for the entire year, unfortunately. But having some pressure gauge issues and taking it a little bit easier earlier on today certainly seems to have fixed up that truck and making some serious headway as we continue the second race of the weekend here. Brad Smith under pressure from Mark Taylor, but this is obviously Division 1 on Division 2, just not finding that gap past the Brad Smith Division 2 truck, and Craig Reed taking up third position of the Division 2 race here, looking for a space past obviously Brad Smith and Mark Taylor.
Well, Ryan Smith has taken the lead from David Jenkins. He got through on the inside at Paddock that time through, as we see Mark Taylor making the move on Brad Smith at Graham Hill Bend. David Jenkins under pressure from Stuart Oliver now for second place. We've got 8 minutes of this restarted race to go, so we're not yet at half distance, but Ryan Smith's Mercedes already through into the lead. The Mercedes Actros.
Very, very tight top three now for Division 2. Adam Bint looking very comfortable at the front there. Brad Smith, trying to find every possible gap through with Craig Reed snapping at his heels. And of course, further ahead of the Division 2 pack now, we've got Mark Taylor pulling nicely away. But is it too late in the day to be looking for the rest of the Division 1s? That is the only problem, as they come down out of Division 2s, down the pit straight into Paddock Hill again. 2.5 minutes roughly left of today's race. Back with the Division 1s now, we're still looking at that undying battle of defence from Dave Jenkins, as Martin Gibson trying to pull out all the stops, late braking, taking the outside line, on board again now with the number 11 MAN Martin Gibson truck, and it is looking very, very tight, certainly testing Dave Jenkins with everything that he's got. Really it's going to be an exciting finish if he continues to push as hard as he is. Stuart Oliver perhaps taking the back seat for the moment, looking for a gap if one of these two make a mistake, Dave.
Yes, he certainly is, the 10 times champion and 1-time European champion, just keeping a watching brief on his protégé Martin Gibson ahead of him, swinging their way through Druids Bend. 90 seconds of the race to go while Ryan Smith's away, and God, he's leading by 8 seconds now. He's heading for his second win of the weekend, but can Adam Bint hang on to win Division 2? A wheel arch hanging off the Volvo there as he heads through Paddock Bend. Well, Ryan Smith, we've hardly seen him. He's run away and hid at the front of the field. Flying Ryan in his Mercedes Actros is heading for his second win, the ex-Norbert Kiss truck, the great Hungarian. But Brad Smith is really attacking now Adam Bint for the lead. Can Adam in the Volvo, the Oxfordshire driver, hang on in front?
Well, he's certainly got the heritage. He's been doing this for quite a while. The truck has been with him the whole way as well. So if anybody can hold that position, it's going to be Binty. But of course, Brad Smith, fantastic bit of driving. They almost look inseparable, those front three, with Craig Reed just following the same line as the two front runners of Division 2, looking very comfortable. I think they're just going to be happy to take the podiums they've got at the moment. There's no real need to be risking the rest of the weekend with a last-minute dash. Although, wait, as we see now, we've got Bradley Smith looking down the outside line. Will he take? No, it doesn't. Backs down behind Binty now. Craig Reed still just looking for that gap between the two of them, I believe.
Yeah, here comes the battle up into Druids. The leader about to start his final lap, I think, Ryan Smith. He's heading into the last lap. We'll concentrate on the Division 2 battle as they swing their way out of Druids, down the hill into Graham Hill Bend. So Ryan Smith surely heading for victory. Who's it going to be as they come through in Division 2, though? Adam Bint's holding on for dear life. He's a very defensive driver. I saw him do this at Pembrey a couple of years ago, where he held the entire Division 2 pack off to take a brilliant win. Ryan Smith is away and gone. He's heading for win number 2 here this evening. David Jenkins is still holding second ahead of Martin Gibson. Still Adam Bint is holding on ahead of Brad Smith. They're about half a lap behind the Division 1 leaders. There's David Jenkins, has held his second place ahead of Gibson and Oliver. They're coming round towards the finish line now. The checkered flag will be in sight. It's going to be 2 out of 2 for the man going for his 6th consecutive title this year. Here comes Flying Ryan out of the final corner. The new Mercedes Actros working faultlessly. It's going to be 2 wins out of 2 for Ryan Smith here at Brands Hatch. He takes the win in British Truck Racing Championship race number 2 of the weekend. David Jenkins will come over in second ahead of Martin Gibson. Great drive by him. Stuart Oliver 4th. It will be John Newell in a rather lonely 5th place. But who is going to win the Division 2 battle? We'll hand back to that. There on the Cooper Straight now, heading towards Surtees for the last time, and Brad Smith is going to go for it. Here they come. It's Adam Bint somehow holding on ahead of Brad Smith. Everything he can throw at him. Craig Reed's going to have a look up the inside as well. They're going to finish line astern, these three. Stephen Powell trying to make it 4. But I think Adam Bint has just about done enough. He had a very poor season in 2020, but he's going to hold on for victory here ahead of Brad Smith. A very happy Adam Bint comes over the line and wins Division 2. That's a terrific drive. And we can confirm the results of that one. Ryan Smith, the winner by just under 10.5 seconds. the winning margin in the end. Another clear win for the new Mercedes. David Jenkins holding off Martin Gibson for second. A determined drive by Martin. Stuart Oliver fourth, ahead of John Newell, a rather lonely fifth. Mark Taylor made it back up from the pit lane start to sixth. Well done to him. Adam Bint in seventh overall, a great win for him in Division 2. He'll be very pleased with that. Bradley Smith took 8th place, less than a second behind him. 9th place going to Craig Reed, and 3rd in class. Stephen Powell had to settle for 4th and 10th overall. And Jock Borthwick in 11th. Jonathan Willis made it back up to 12th. Then Craig Evans a lap down, and we lost Simon Cole. Unfortunately, was an early retirement into the pits.
Quite an eventful race that, wasn't it? But when you managed to finally get past, you kind of pulled away again.
I just needed to get in single file, get my head down and do what I know I can do. So yeah, it worked out perfect. I just waited, single file, let the commotion happen in the first turn, and just pressed it from there.
It was a perfect display, really, wasn't it? Just sort of stay out of trouble and then pick them off as you get there.
Well, some brilliant action from the big rigs, as we always see here at Brands Hatch. Plenty more to come from them later on, but for now, we'll take a short break. Welcome back to Brands Hatch Circuit, where the big rigs are ready to race once again. It's time for race 3 for the British Truck Racing Championship. And in pole position it is number 157 Jonathan Willis, the reverse grid being used from yesterday's finishing order, with the Division 1 trucks at the front, Division 2 behind. So Jonathan Willis starts on pole in truck number 157, number 81 Mark Taylor alongside him. Second row, number 18 John Newell, and number 7 the 10 times champion and former European champion Stuart Oliver. Row 3, number 11 Martin Gibson. And alongside him will be number 1 Ryan Smith, because David Jenkins, number 69, got a penalty after some contact in yesterday's race. He has to start at the back of the Division 1 trucks. Then there's a gap and we've got Division 2. That's headed up by number 10 Craig Evans. Division 2 for the slightly less powerful, less modified trucks. Alongside him is number 32 Jock Borthwick. Then we have the reigning Division 2 champion, number 3 Stephen Powell, and 68 of Craig Reed. Behind them, number 16 Brad Smith, and number 5, yesterday's winner of the second race, Adam Bintz. And finally, we should have 41 Simon Cole and number 6 John Powell. I don't think those two trucks are there, but we do have an extra truck right at the back, number 46 Bradley Smith. So we've got 2 Brad Smiths in this race. Nice and confusing for us commentators. Bradley Smith in number 46 in his Iveco. Didn't race yesterday, but he is here today and is at the back of the field. Here we go then, the pace truck into the pit lane, up towards the red lights. When they go out, we will be underway and racing. Waiting for the lights to go out. 15 minutes of truck racing about to get underway. Power comes on, and here we go down towards Paddock Hill Bend. Almost 1,000 horsepower from most of these engines. They charge their way into Paddock Hill Bend. Jonathan Willis has run a little bit wide on the exit, and he's into the gravel. John Willis into the gravel at Paddock Hill Bend, and Stuart Oliver ploughs through the gravel as well. That was nearly a carbon copy of the start of the second race yesterday. Mark Taylor, number 81, has the lead, and in Division 2 it's 2x2 into Druids. Contact there between Craig Evans and Borthwick in the 32 as they start to stream their way down towards Graham Hill Bend. Number 81 Mark Taylor has the lead.
Yes, unfortunate start to the race there for John Willis as he sits now in the gravel. We will be seeing any lights coming out to bring that race to a standstill or not. We can't see any flags just yet, although I think the marshals will be getting very close now to putting out some yellows. Yes, we have marshals coming out onto the track now with the yellow flags. Just a replay now of that John Willis. We also see Stuart Oliver taking a little bit of a detour there as well, but of course that little bit of extra experience getting him back on the track. And I do now see as well the red lights flashing around the circuit as the race is brought to a complete stop. Again, like you said, Dave, almost a carbon copy of what we had in the first race yesterday. The truck's now re-gridding. Looks like the marshals quick off the mark there to get them lined up again for a definite restart.
Gibson positioning himself tight to the inside to try and get up the inside. Mark Taylor positioning himself to try and move across as soon as the red lights go out and hold off John Newell. He's got to be wary of Stuart Oliver as well. Here we go. Division 2 trucks are flagged away with the Union flag, the second group. They head down towards Paddock Bend for the first time. It is Mark Taylor who has held his lead. Stuart Oliver round the outside in the number 7. John Newell in third place in the number 18. But it's Taylor who leads the way in the number 81 as they head up towards Druids for the first time. And Ryan Smith around the outside. Ryan Smith could get third place here. Not the best of starts for Martin Gibson in the number 11. Oh, we've got a tangle. Adam Bint and Jock Borthwick are in the gravel at Paddock Bend. Disaster in Division 2, and yesterday's winner could well be out of the race, and we could be seeing another red flag. It looked like Jock Borthwick spun around and Adam Bint hit the front of him. Nowhere for Adam to go there. Great cloud of dust as they went into the gravel trap, and another two trucks to be recovered there. Damage to the front of Adam Bint's Volvo White Aerodyne. I would imagine some damage to the 32 of Borthwick as well. The pace truck is into pit lane. Will it be third time lucky then with British Truck Racing Championship race 3 of the weekend? They come up towards the red lights, they go out, and we're underway, and a great start this time by John Newell in the number 18 with his new MAN up the inside as they head through Paddock Bend for the first time. Let's hope nobody runs wide into the gravel this time. Newell has got the lead. In Division 2 it is Craig Reed who's made a great start in the red number 68 Iveco. Stephen Powell goes through in the second. It's Newell that leads. Mark Taylor's caught in the middle. Ryan Smith is there on the outside. This is going to be frantic. There's contact on the exit of Druids. Mark Taylor and Stuart Oliver. Taylor slides sideways, and look at Ryan Smith. He's charged through. He got the line right through Druids, going round the outside, then onto the inside for Graham Hill Bend, and he's up into second place ahead of Mark Taylor, who nearly spun coming down Graham Hill. But out in front it is John Newell. Leading Division 2 is Craig Reed.
Yeah, fantastic start to the race. Now I do believe we are properly underway. Mark Taylor unfortunately dropping a few spaces back now, with Stuart Oliver looking to take the next position away from him. On board with Martin Gibson, as we can see him just creeping along behind, looking for a space, but quite a lot of clear air behind him though. There's quite a large gap before the Division 2. Craig Reed coming onto the pit straight now, just coming past John Willis, who does appear to be struggling yet again unfortunately in this race. Steve Powell looking for a space next to Brad Smith. Craig Evans for Jock Borthwick.
Division 2 pack heading up into Druids. The battle for second between Stephen Powell and Brad Smith. Jock Borthwick is going well. Bit of smoke from the 32, or maybe just steam. He's 11th overall. Craig Evans and Bradley Smith still behind him as the lead pack heads round towards the conclusion of another lap. Craig Reed continues to set the pace in Division 2. He took hold yesterday's race, and Bradley Smith goes off onto the grass heading down Graham Hill. Just lost out to Craig Evans. Don't know if there was any contact just before there, but Bradley in the very smart Iveco keeps it going. There's Brad Smith, his namesake, the Unity Recovery sponsored number 16, chasing Stephen Powell. Leaders heading up towards Druids once again. 3.5 seconds in it between Smith and Newell. Taylor in third, then Oliver, Jenkins, Gibson are your top 6. John Newell is being caught here by Mark Taylor in the number 81. Then it's Stuart Oliver. There's David Jenkins. A quiet race from the man from Stafford so far, former British champion on a few occasions. Ryan Smith, the man going for his 6th consecutive title this year, is going the right way about it. He's unbeaten so far this weekend. He took the lead just a lap into this race, and look at the lead he's got here, nearly 4 seconds up on John Newell, who's being harried now by Mark Taylor. Hanging on there at the moment. David Jenkins is now pressuring Stuart Oliver for 4th position. We've got a couple of laps left to go. David Jenkins, of course, had to start from the back of the Division 1 grid. Got a penalty for some contact in one of yesterday's races. Jock Borthwick safe in the pit lane. It was an oil pipe that came off the turbo, I've just been told, which caused those flames. It was a bit of oil getting onto the hot elements of the engine. The officials spotted those flames, and he did get the black and orange flag, the black with orange disc, which means technical problem, call into the pits. That's the end of Jock Borthwick's race as Division 1 heads over the line. I think we'll get this and one more lap out of this. Ryan Smith leading by 7 seconds over John Newell now. The Mercedes heading for win number 3 for the weekend.
Yes, just half a minute left now of this first race of the Sunday with the British Truck Racing, and it does appear to be quite a civil end to the proceedings after quite a few false starts this morning. Still concerned about the number 11 truck, Martin Gibson. I think a bit of work to be done before the after lunch race this afternoon to see whether he can find some of that speed that he obviously had yesterday. Just looking down onto Clark Curves now, as we've got Ryan Smith just coming past Bradley Smith. Quite a good performance from Bradley Smith, really, if we take into consideration he hasn't driven around this track before, and of course not responsible for either of the two crashes earlier on in the races either, which is sort of claim on its own, I'd say.
Well, we're on the last lap of the race now, just counted down to 0, so it is going to be a hat-trick for flying Ryan Smith in the Mercedes, but who's going to be second and third? They're heading up into Druids now. Stuart Oliver under attack from David Jenkins, that's for fourth place. It looks as though John Newell is going to hang on for second place, and Mark Taylor will be pleased with third, but can David Jenkins get through on the inside? He's having a look. Stuart Oliver closes the door at Graham Hill Bend, gets the tail hanging out slightly over the curb. Craig Reed is heading for victory in Division 2. He's increased his lead by a few tenths of a second over Stephen Powell. Win is going to go to flying Ryan Smith in the number 1. We'll watch the battles further back for the minor placings. Checkered flag is out. Ryan Smith has come through to take the win. It's going to be John Newell who will come over in second. They've just lapped the 46 of Bradley Smith there. Mark Taylor's going to be third. David Jenkins pulls out, trying to go round the outside on the run to the line, but he doesn't quite get there. Stuart Oliver by 2 tenths of a second takes fourth, and it's going to be Craig Reed who will take Division 2. Martin Gibson dropped back into 6th position overall, but in 7th overall, here comes Craig Reed in the Iveco to take the victory in Division 2. Stephen Powell, the defending champion, will take second in that division. 3 different winners in Division 2 so far this weekend. Win going to Ryan Smith by nearly 7.5 seconds ahead of John Newell, and Mark Taylor an overall podium in third. Stuart Oliver fourth, holding off David Jenkins in the closing stages. Martin Gibson completing the top 6. Craig Reed, 7th overall, the winner of Division 2 ahead of Stephen Powell. Then Jonathan Willis and Brad Smith completing the top 10. Bradley Smith taking 11th. And then Craig Evans a lap down completing the finishes. We lost Jock Borthwick, of course, into the pits. Now time for pickup truck racing. As we say, these trucks with 2-litre race-tuned engines. Qualifying took place yesterday, and the grid is based on that qualifying session, but with the top 6 in the times flipped around. So if you qualified 6th, you start on pole, and the fastest driver starts 6th on the grid. So the grid reads as follows for race 1. Number 71, Simon Ward from Leicestershire, is on pole position alongside number 21, which is Dean Tompkins. This will be an 18-lap race. Second row, 28, the champion of 2019. The series not held in 2020, so the reigning champion, George Turicki, number 28, is on row 2. Alongside him, number 86 of Daniel Petters. The third row is the current championship leader after the first round at Mallory Park. That's number 40, Rhys Jones. And alongside him, 65, the former Rockingham Motor Speedway champion, Mark Willis. Fourth row, 72, Alan Cooper, and number 93 of Michael Smith. On row 5, number 12, Paul Tompkins, and 83, which is Dale Gents. Row 6, Danny Hunn, number 39, and Nathan Dew in number 18. Then we've got number 5 of Dan Fisher. Not sure if I saw him go through there, so he may not be there. 69, Lee Rogers alongside him. Then number 50, Jeff Dixon, starts alongside Roger Dormer on row 8 in number 7. Row 9, 35, Stephen Field, and number 13, Richard Ayling. The 10th row, 77, Chris Land, and 52, James Goldstraw, and at the back of the field, number 2, Jamie Liptrot. So we should have 21 pickup trucks out there for this one. About to get underway, the pace car comes into pit road, and here we go then up towards the red lights. When the lights go out, we will be underway, as they say in the United States. Let's go racing, boys! Away they go, and a great start by Dean Tompkins from the outside in the number 21 truck. He'll try and take the lead, but the reigning champions there on the inside. George Turicki in the yellow number 28. Up the hill they go towards Druids. Simon Ward didn't make the best of starts there. He's side by side with Tompkins. Dan Petters hanging on around the outside, and it really is a NASCAR-style draft as they head out of Druids. Tompkins will take the lead on the inside, the number 21, the man from Hampshire. Third place, number 86, which is Dan Petters. Then we've got George Turicki. They're all round okay for the first time. There's Dan Fisher, one of the newcomers this season in number 5, ex-Honda Civic racer. Dan Petters having a look at the back of the 28. So those two and most of the others in this field have come up through the world of short oval racing in hot rods and stock cars. There's number 2, Jamie Liptrot, one of our newcomers, the man from Suffolk. They start to sort themselves out, completing the first lap. It's Dean Tompkins, number 21, who has the lead. His dad Paul is further down the field in number 12. Paul, the former World Banger Racing champion. A bit different to a Ford Granada that he's at the wheel of here. There is Paul, number 12. It is his son Dean, 21, who leads. Simon Ward in second place. Began his racing career in a Vauxhall Astra GTE in classic touring cars, which he still owns today. He raced it recently at Donington Park. Turicki is third, then Petters, Mark Willis and Rhys Jones, the points leader, in sixth place. He began his career here at Brands Hatch, the man from Herne Bay in Kent in saloon cars. He's got Michael Smith up behind him in number 93. Turicki makes a move for second place. Simon Ward a little bit out of shape there on the entry to Clearways. They're side by side for second place. Dean Tompkins continues to lead, lapping in the 56s at the moment, these drivers, even quicker this time, in the 53s now. So about 5 seconds a lap quicker than the trucks we've just seen. Turicki through into second. Here comes Dan Petters up on the curb there in the 86. He's raced bangers and hot rods on the short overs. And look at Mark Willis up the inside there, the 65. That makes it 3 wide as they go into Druids. Is he going to get through on the inside? Yes, he is. Mark Willis, one of the most experienced drivers in this field, number 65, up into third place. Petters is fourth. Then Rhys Jones has come through into fifth. So the pole sitter Simon Ward has dropped back a bit in the 71. Turicki from Kettering in Northants began his career in mini stocks, and sideways there Alan Cooper, the ex-Formula 2 stock car racer, used to race against George Turicki in the F2s. Mark Willis under fire from Dan Petters. They are really close together here, side by side for the lead as they come round Clearways and Clark Curve. George Turicki's got the inside line, and he's surely going to drag his way into the lead here down the Brabham Straight. They're still side by side, hanging on around the outside. Dean Tompkins, is he going to be later on the brakes for Paddock Bend? They're absolutely together. Turicki's got the title line though and will take the lead. Mark Willis is having a look as well. 3 of them for the lead. It's going to be fairly shortly here unless Turicki can get his foot down and pull away. Tompkins still second, side by side for third. Willis is there. Dan Petters hanging on around the outside. Then Rhys Jones, Simon Ward, Dale Gent, Alan Cooper and Michael Smith. This is brilliant stuff. Rhys Jones to the inside there at Graham Hill Bend, attacking Dan Petters. Cooper side by side with Dale Gent in the 83, and that's almost an Austin Dillon lookalike he's driving there, just with a different number from the world of NASCAR racing. Brands Hatch Indy Circuit does kind of remind me of the Sonoma road course in California. That's where NASCAR are this weekend. George Turicki leads it. Plenty of laps to go yet. We're only about a third of the way through this first pickup truck racing championship race of the day. Their first race since 2019. Back of the field stringing out a little. There's Lee Rogers, number 69. He's got pole position, I can tell you, for race 2 later on. Number 65, Mark Willis up the inside takes Dean Tompkins. Dan Petters is coming through as well. So Dean Tompkins, the early pace setter, drops into 4th place now. Rhys Jones in the pink number 40 is behind him. Dan Petters on the attack here in 86, looking for what I believe would be his first pickup truck racing win. The Auto Park MOT and Service Centre truck. Rhys Jones is closing though. He knows Brands Hatch very well. Began his career here in saloon cars. And Dean Tompkins, looks like Dale Gent up into 6th place, side by side. There's Tompkins Senior, Paul Tompkins in the A4 Metal Recycling and Skip Hire sponsored number 12. He was side by side with Alan Cooper there. Back markers come through. Here comes Dale Gent. His dad Mark raced on the ovals in Britain and on the continent in various formulas. And George Turicki has lost the lead there at Druids. He's gone down to third. Mark Willis has come through. So it is 65 Mark Willis ahead of Dan Petters at the front of the field now. And Dan Petters at the inside. A bit of rubbing there. Rubbing's racing, as they say. Mark Willis holds him off though, gets across the front of him there, coming out of Clark Curve. Here comes the 86 of Dan Petters on the attack into Paddock Bend, and Willis a little bit twitchy there going into Paddock. So Ricky trying to win the lead back again. Rhys Jones is behind them, so 4 of them together now for the lead of this first pickup race of the weekend, and Dan Petters sends one up the inside. Mark Willis trying to hold him off. There's plenty of rubbing there at Druids as Mark Willis hangs onto it around the outside. The 65 car just about there ahead of Dan Petters, who's on his tail again up towards Surtees. They're side by side on the road to Surtees. Surely Petters is going to get through this time. Yes, he's done it. Dan Petters into the lead in the 86. We come up towards half distance, and now Ricky's going to have a go as well up on the curb there. They're rubbing their way through Clark Curve again. And here comes Rhys Jones in the 40. This is terrific racing. It really is. First day back at school for the Pickup Truck Racing Championship. Mark Willis now hung out to dry on the outside in the 65. So Ricky's through to second, and Rhys Jones is going to go through into third as well. Gents closing up, and Dean Tompkins is trying to get back into this, the early race leader as well. Simon Ward, the pole sitter for this race, now down in 8th place behind Dean Tompkins. So the two front row men have been shuffled back, and wide there goes Dan Petters out of McLaren into Clearways. So George Turicki back up on the inside. Side by side across the line. Petters gets his foot down on that wider line. Can he keep the lead here? He'll try and move across into Paddock Bend. Yes, he's done so. Good defensive driving after that slight mistake through Clearways. It's allowing Mark Willis to close up again as well. Rhys Jones just lurking behind them in the 40, trying to keep his points lead as Turicki has a look again. Dan Petters is handling pretty loose here. He slid out wide there through Druids, and George Turicki didn't need asking twice. I wonder if Petters' tyres are starting to go off here. As Mark Willis is on his tail, you can see the 86 truck is loose, as they say in NASCAR, sliding about. Rhys Jones behind them. Dale Gent is up into 5th in the 83. Over the line, the leader has increased the gap here as they go over the line to start the penultimate lap. See what the gap is this time through. 1.1 seconds, and into the gravel there briefly goes Dale Gent. He's all over the place. Is he going to save it? Yes, good save, Dale Gent. He's only lost 1 place. Michael Smith got through there in the offshore fuels truck. So 16 laps completed. The gap was 1.1 seconds. So Turicki's pulled away from Dan Petters. I suspect Dan's tyres are starting to go off because Mark Willis is making a move here into Surtees. Here he comes. He's going to go through into second place, and somebody's off. I thought I saw a cloud of dust there in the background. It's Dan Fisher who's gone into the gravel at Druids. He's stuck there. That's the end of his race. Dust up on the outside of Clearways there as well. Has somebody gone off there perhaps? Side by side there for third over the line. Rhys Jones and Dan Petters. Yeah, Jones going through, so I suspect Petters' tyres are going off. George Turicki leads, Willis up to second, Jones up to third. We're on the final lap of this Pickup Truck Championship race now. Turicki from Willis. And yes, Petters going to lose another place because Michael Smith nudges his way past there. Oh, they both go out wide. Petters onto the grass briefly there. Dale Gent's going to have a go as well. Petters suffering some handling issues. But it's going to be a win for George Turicki in number 28. Through Surtees and McLaren he comes for the last time into Clearways. The first race since 2019 for the Pickup Truck Racing Championship here at Brands Hatch. Opened the season at Mallory Park. Rhys Jones was on top on that occasion, but it's going to be George Turicki. Here he comes up towards the checkered flag. Turicki wins it. Terrific drive. Second place goes to Mark Willis, Rhys Jones third, Smith fourth, Petters fifth, then Gent sixth, Tompkins seventh, Ward the pole sitter eighth as quickly as that. George Turicki the winner by just over a second ahead of Mark Willis, with Rhys Jones 2/10 back in third. Michael Smith took fourth ahead of Dan Petters, who dropped back a bit in the closing stages, with Dale Gent sixth despite that gravelly moment at Halewood Hill. Dean Tompkins seventh ahead of the pole sitter Simon Ward, and Alan Cooper and Paul Tompkins rounding out the top 10. Nathan Dew a good 11th, I think that's his best result in the series so far. Danny Hunn in 12th, then Lee Rogers, Jamie Liptrot and Chris Land completing the top 15 runners. 16th behind them went to Richard Ayling, recovering well after a spin at Clark Curve. 17th Jeff Dixon, James Goldstraw was 18th, then Roger Dormer and Stephen Field completed the 20 finishers, just that one retirement, and that was Dan Fisher who went off at Druids. give you the grid for this next race then. Division 1 in reverse order of their finishing order from race 3 of the weekend, that we saw earlier on. 157, Jonathan Willis is on pole alongside number 11 of Martin Gibson. Second row, 69, David Jenkins. Alongside him, number 7, Stuart Oliver. The third row, we've got number 81, Mark Taylor, and 18, John Newell. And number 1, Ryan Smith, going for 4 out of 4 starts from the back of Division 1. Then there's a gap, and we've got the Division 2s. Number 10, Craig Evans, at the front of them, alongside 46 of Bradley Smith. 16, Brad Smith, alongside number 3, Stephen Powell. 68 is there, that's Craig Reed. They're the 5 finishers from the earlier race. Jock Borthwick is there as well. Failed to finish with a bit of an oil fire in the earlier race. Hopefully he's repaired that. The number 32, yes, he's there. And then we've got number 5, Adam Bint. I cannot believe that truck is on the grid. That's an unbelievable job by the Bint Truck Sport team. As we heard from Pointy, John Powell and Simon Cole have withdrawn from the rest of the weekend with mechanical problems, and they will not be starting. Pace Truck has pulled into the pit lane then. 15 minutes of racing for the British Truck Racing Championship, race 4 of the weekend. Jonathan Willis and Martin Gibson lead them away. Coming up towards the red lights, Stuart Oliver is poised to pounce on the outside as we get underway down towards Paddock Bend for the first time. We're on board with Martin Gibson in the number 11 MAN, side by side with Jonathan Willis as they turn in. Willis has got it right this time on the inside in the 157. They make it round. Ryan Smith having a look on the inside, but it's Willis who will lead the way as they go into Druids for the first time. Gibson leaning on him. They're all round Paddock Bend, I think, okay this time. That's great to see. One truck running wide, that was Ryan Smith, as Martin Gibson has a look for the lead as they go into Graham Hill Bend. He won't get through there. Willis holds him off. A new experience for Jonathan Willis then, leading a British truck race for the first time. Ryan Smith's got past John Newell in the number 18 MAN. We'll look back to Division 2 in just a moment as well. They're chasing their way onto the Cooper Straights now. Already Craig Evans has dropped back in Division 2, but as they come around to complete the first lap, Jonathan Willis will lead the first lap of his truck racing career by the look of it. No, he's dropped back there on the outside. Martin Gibson has come through. I was watching the Division 2s there. So it is Gibson who will lead over the line, and David Jenkins up into second.
Yeah, much better start there for John Willis. Looks like he's holding the rest of the pack back at the moment, but defensive driving there keeps him in third place in the Division 1 at the moment. Stephen Powell making an early jump for the start, pulling ahead now from Brad Smith, closely followed by Jock Borthwick. Let's see if he can get himself a podium this afternoon. See them coming round there into Druids up the hill. We've got Craig Reed close on Jock's tail, looking for a gap down there as they make their way down to Graham Hill Bend. Will he be taking the late brake option around that corner? Right on his tail now. Very good defensive driving by Jock here. Maybe he has found what he's been looking for the past couple of races. Steve Powell still pulling away very nicely. Brad Smith, and it looks like Ryan Smith now coming past John Willis. John Willis on the inside line, but Ryan showing that experience on the outside, still managing to take that curve absolutely beautifully as they come back round now onto the pit straight from Clark Curve. Fantastic bit of driving there. John Willis still managing to hold back John Newell at the moment.
Ryan Smith still all over the back of Stuart Oliver for that third place. This is allowing the first two to escape. They're about 5 seconds up the road from these two now, Gibson and Jenkins. Here is the fight for the lead. David Jenkins looking for his first win of the season, the former British champion, but Martin Gibson in his new MAN out front, and Jenkins gets 2 wheels onto the grass there, coming through the outside of Clark Curve. He's held it together though. Oliver still holding off Ryan Smith. They go side by side down the stretch. This is a good effort by Stuart Oliver in that Volvo VNL, drawing on his years of experience. John Newell is there in 5th, then Taylor and Jonathan Willis, the 7 Division 1 runners. Still in 8th place overall is Stephen Powell, about 2.5 seconds off Jonathan Willis. Division 1 heading up into Druids. Back down the hill they come, and smoke again from Jock Borthwick's truck, so his MAN still giving trouble. He's going to have to pull over, I think, or be flagged in. This is quite a bit of smoke coming out there, and black or dark smoke is a no-no in truck racing.
Yeah, new regulations brought in a few seasons ago by BARC said that obviously with the emissions and the way everything's going with the world at the moment, black smoke pluming out of the back of these highly tuned race trucks just isn't very good for the environment or of course the spectators that come and see this racing on the weekend. Oh my goodness, Stuart Oliver sideways, there must be something on the track there as all of the Division 1 drivers go sideways. They're coming through Clark Curve, loses quite a bit of a gap now as Ryan Smith pulls away, heads into Paddock Hill Bend with a decent gap now ahead of Stuart Oliver. As we see them coming around now, we've got it looks like a clear line for the Division 1 trucks coming around Clark Curve, so hopefully they're all avoiding whatever it was that's on the track earlier on today. Perhaps with Borthwick we see an issue arising from the previous fix that we saw at the race earlier on today, an oil leak onto the turbo causing that fire on the track. So is this the same thing again? Have we had the same issue that's caused issues to leak onto the track, Dave?
I think that could well be the case point here as we see the Division 2 leaders going through Paddock Hill Bend. The gap between Stephen Powell and Craig Reed is nearly 4 seconds now. We ride on board with Martin Gibson. Just caught a glimpse of Jock Borthwick's truck stranded there on the left as we head along the Cooper Straight as it's known. It's not very straight though as we head up towards Surtees. He's run wide there at Clearways. Yeah, there's definitely some fluid on the track there, I would think, unless it is starting to spit with rain. Well, I was going to say Ryan Smith nearly climbing all over the back of David Jenkins there, but that actually happened here at Brands Hatch a few years ago when Stuart Oliver ended up hitching a lift on the back of Ricky Collett's truck. He literally towed him round for the last lap of the race. We don't want to see a repeat of that here, although it does save a bit on diesel and on tyre wear. Towing tactics not encouraged here. Stephen Powell still leads Division 2 in the number 3. The Core Fresh Fruit and Veg Hauliers sponsored truck as Smith to the outside now at Druids. He's trying to set him up for Graham Hill Bend here to try and get down the inside. Trying to bamboozle David Jenkins, but Jenks with a lot of experience holds that second place. Martin Gibson still leads by just under 3 seconds. These two are still nose to tail. There is no way through for Ryan Smith. A great scrap here.
Yeah, very, very exciting racing. With just 2 minutes left now, the clock starts to count down. Ryan Smith still giving it everything he's got on the back end of Dave Jenkins. This is incredible. Little bit of track limits there we see as a bit of grass sprays up next to Ryan Smith. He is truly pushing that truck as hard as he can. Dave Jenkins only has to blink, and this is going to be a third place for him if he's not careful. Round Clark Curve now. Ryan Smith looking for the inside line, but Dave Jenkins just pulling ahead enough to close the door as they leave the pit straight. We see in the background there Stuart Oliver, John Newell, Mark Taylor comfortably in their positions. Bradley Smith there at the tail end of Division 2. As we look at the Division 2 trucks, we've still got a comfortable lead from Steve Powell, closely followed by, of course, Craig Reed. Back with Division 1 now, we've got Ryan Smith right up the inside now. Dave Jenkins calls across just into the entrance of Graham Hill Bend, closing the door once again. Has he got the acceleration power up Cooper Straight to make it past him? No, Dave Jenkins, absolutely fantastic defensive driving. Of course, their lap times are going to suffer because of this, but Ryan Smith is literally pushing him along the track. We saw a bit of contact.
Yes, he's up the inside there. There was contact
Ryan
there coming
Smith
into
heading
Clearways.
off the track.
And Ryan Smith has got through. We are on the last lap of the race now, and Ryan Smith has got through into that second place. So there was contact there, definitely going into Clearways. I don't think it was intentional. I think it just slid into the back of him under braking there. But they're not going to catch Martin Gibson. He's 5 seconds up the road. They've delayed each other with David Jenkins defending so much, and it is going to be Martin Gibson. We are on the last lap of the race now, and it's going to be the number 11 MAN that is going to take the win. He's heading through Graham Hill Bend now, and Martin Gibson is heading for his first win of the season. It's going to be a first defeat of the season for the new Mercedes Actros of Ryan Smith. There's Gibson through Surtees, and he is heading for victory. Had problems with leaking water in the third race of the weekend earlier, but race 4 is going to be a win for the number 11 MAN. Here he comes out of the final corner. A great drive by number 11 Martin Gibson up towards the line. The man from Warwickshire comes in to take the victory. There's the checkered flag. Gibson wins it. Now who's going to be second? It is Ryan Smith in second place. David Jenkins comes over in third. Stuart Oliver will be fourth. 5th place goes to John Newell, 6th it is Mark Taylor, and Jonathan Willis will complete the Division 1 finishers. And here's our Division 2 leader. It's going to be a second win of the weekend for the reigning champion Stephen Powell, although Craig Reed has really reeled him in there. Only a couple of truck lengths behind the MAN is the Iveco. And here they come up over the line. Stephen Powell heads home Craig Reed. Brad Smith, number 16, is going to be third in Division 2, ahead of Craig Evans and Bradley Smith. Martin Gibson, the winner by 3.7 seconds ahead of Ryan Smith, who battled his way past David Jenkins. Great fight between those two. Stuart Oliver taking 4th ahead of John Newell, Mark Taylor and Jonathan Willis completing the Division 1 runners. Stephen Powell, the winner of Division 2, in 8th place ahead of Craig Reed by just less than a second in the end. Brad Smith in number 16, third in that class ahead of Adam Bint in his rebuilt Volvo. Craig Evans, the final finisher. We lost Bradley Smith towards the end of that one, and of course Jock Borthwick was also a retirement.
Oh, congratulations. I was there last year when you won your first race. You won again. A little bit of help from Stuart, I think, to keep Ryan back, but you did what you needed to do.
Yeah, it's brilliant. There's so many problems yesterday, so many today, and the truck just came right. I could get away in clear air and keep it steady. Spot on.
So they must be delighted with that.
Yeah, really pleased. We had a cracking start out in the middle of them, and then we kept reading a bit, and then he was drawing us back in. So, yes, please.
It's nice to get a clean race, isn't it? With no breaks, no stoppages. Just goes to show what you guys can do out there. It's wonderful.
We had a briefing and look, it's no one's fault. Things like this happen, but we need to get it going and keep stopping and starting, affects you this and that when you're lowering them down and turning them back off, cracking this and stuff like that. So we've all had a talking to, and it's proved the pudding. So it's good.
Well, plenty of great action as we always see from the big rigs here at Brands Hatch, and there's plenty more where that come from. For now, we'll take a short break. Welcome back to Brands Hatch here on Full Throttle. Still plenty more race action to come. It is now time for the second race of the weekend for the Pickup Truck Racing Championship. Take a look at the grid then for this race, set by qualifying yesterday. The top 6 on times reversed. The 6th fastest driver in qualifying was number 69, Lee Rogers, for race 2, so he starts on pole alongside number 12, Paul Tompkins. Rhys Jones, number 40, who led the points coming into this weekend, is on the second row alongside 86, Dan Petters. Had a good run in the first race, led briefly but slipped down to 5th. And on row 3 we've got 65, Mark Willis, and number 93, Michael Smith. Race 1 winner, George Turicki, in the 2080s on row 4 alongside number 71, Simon Ward. On the 5th row, 39, Danny Hunn, alongside 21, Dean Tompkins. Alan Cooper's on row 6, alongside number 18, Nathan Dew. Then on row 7, it's James Goldstraw and Chris Land. The 8th row, Richard Ayling and Stephen Field. Jamie Liptrot and Dale Gent start on row 9. Dale Gent, one of a few trucks that didn't get out for the second part of qualifying for race 2 yesterday. The others being Dan Fisher, number 5, Roger Dormer, number 7, and number 50, Jeff Dixon, due to various failures in the first qualifying session. The Pickup Truck Racing Championship, round 4 of the season, about to get underway. The power comes on and away they go. Good start by Paul Tompkins from the outside in the number 12. Looks like he's going to take the lead into the first corner. There was a bit of rubbing in there. Lee Rogers got sideways. Round the outside comes 86 of Dan Petters. He's got a good start up into second place, but it's Paul Tompkins who leads the way. Locks up into Druids a little there. Petters in second place. Third place is Lee Rogers, holding on ahead of Rhys Jones, who goes through on the exit of Druids. Rogers goes down to 4th. Mark Willis trying to come through as well into 4th position, and he's going to do so side by side with Rogers. There's George Turicki running out wide, attacking Michael Smith. And look at Danny Hunn up the inside in the 39. He's had a good start. Newcomer to pickups this season. He makes up 2 places past 2 former champions. Paul Tompkins, number 12, world champion in Bangor racing in the 2000s, won that title at Ipswich in a Ford Granada. Very different to that pickup truck, leads the way as they complete the first lap. Then second place is Dan Petters. They start to sort themselves out. Danny Hunn with a flying first lap in the number 39. Behind him is Turicki, then Smith. There's Simon Ward in there as well. Last runners through Stephen Field and Richard Ayling. Dan Petters trying to attack for the lead, but he'll know after race 1 not to push too hard into the early going, or he'll lose grip later on in the race. His tyres will go off. Down the hill into Graham Hill Bend. Paul Tompkins from Hampshire, Dan Petters, Rhys Jones, a local man from Herne Bay, a single file through Graham Hill Bend. Good to see Dan Fisher's back out after his off in race 1. Tompkins a little sideways there at Surtees, closing right up there. Oh, and a big wiggle there from Dan Petters. He may have got a touch there from Rhys Jones in the number 40, who goes to the inside, coming out of Clearways towards Clark Curve. He's going to try and take second place here. There could be 3 wide. Almost getting a wheel up on the grass there, Rhys Jones. Side by side with Dan Petters down towards Paddock Bend. Is he going to take second place away here? He's got the inside line. I think he's going to go through on the run up towards Druids. Paul Tompkins still has the lead. Look at Mark Willis dodging about all over the back of Rhys Jones in the 40. Nice to see Rhys carrying stickers in memory of Pete Stevens. Pick up number 4, the popular Thunder Saloon racer as well, and very successful hot rod man, sadly passed away last year. Rhys Jones is really throwing that truck around. He's up into second place. Mark Willis is through to third. Are they struggling for grip out there, I wonder? Lee Rogers still there in 5th, the pole sitter. Danny Hunn up behind him, the best we've seen him run so far in his short pickup career. Rhys Jones going for the inside there at Clearways. Can he go through? Yes, he can. Rhys Jones leads it on his local circuit in the number 40. And that's going to leave Paul Tompkins hung out to dry on the outside. Here comes Mark Willis. Here comes Dan Petters. Look at this. This is going to be 3 wide into Paddock. They bounce off each other. Whoa, goodness me. Who's going to have to bottle out here? That's never going to work through there. Petters up on the grass. Gets it sideways there. Running wide onto the dirt. That's the leader, Rhys Jones. You think this was the last lap. When you look at Mark Willis up the inside, he's going to go from 4th to 1st in the space of about 2 corners. He's done it. This is incredible. Race of the weekend so far from the Pickup Truck Racing Championship. Mark Willis into the lead. And that shows his hot rod training. Some people aim for the gap. He was aiming for where the gap was going to be in all of that. Second place, Rhys Jones. Third is Dan Petters. And then we've got in 4th place, Paul Tompkins, who a lap ago was leading. Rhys Jones dodging about on the tail of Mark Willis. He is really determined here up towards Surtees. Oh, he's tagged the back of Mark Willis there. Willis holds it over the curb. Here comes Dan Petters saying, I'll have a bit of this as well. Oh, this is frantic stuff. Incredible. Tompkins 4th, holding off Michael Smith behind the first 3, starting to break away a little. Then it's Taricki. Rogers down to 7th. We've got one truck in the pit lane there. Richard Ayling has pulled in. And got James Goldstraw there as well. He did come out and do a lap, but he's pulled back into the pits again. It's Mark Willis leading. Side by side for second, Jones and Petters fighting it out. And Michael Smith, the silver truck, number 93, trying to close up on them. Jones got the inside line there through Paddock Bend. Petters up there on the outside. Then Smith, Taricki and the rest of them. Things calming down just a little. Here are the leaders. Rhys Jones has caught Mark Willis in the Simpson skip hire number 65. Down Graham Hill into the left-hander. It's broken away slightly. Michael Smith rather has taken 3rd from Dan Petters. And then look who's coming up behind them. It's George Taricki, the reigning champion. Tricky is on the charge. 6th behind them is Dale Gents. They've dropped away slightly from the first 5 now. Taricki has a look on the Smart Raft and Auto Park MOT and Service Centre 86 of Dan Petters. But Rhys Jones is ready to attack Mark Willis for the lead of the race. Have a look into Paddock Bend. Car in the gravel. Oh, that's Simon Ward. 8th place gone. He's gone into the gravel. Now, I think that's at Clearways. Meantime, Rhys Jones attacking for the lead. He's down the inside as they come into Druids. They're side by side. They're rubbing, leaning on each other on the exit there. 65 of Mark Willis will hold it, though, through Graham Hill Bend. He's got a lot of experience, one of the most experienced drivers in this field. Rhys Jones right on his bumper there as they come down the straight. This is allowing Smith to tow up onto the back of them. Willis leads it. It's soon going to be Alias Smith and Jones for second place, or is it? No, Jones is going for the inside. There's more rubbing as they come through Clearways. Jones has got the inside line, and he's surely going to take the lead here in the pink number 40. Here they come over the line. Jones will have his nose in front up the line. Watch for Smith in the 93. Up towards Paddock Hill Bend, and the safety car's coming out. The safety car is coming out. You can see the board there. That'll be because of Simon Ward's truck in the gravel trap, I presume. Here we go then. We're going to go green this time. 2 laps to run then Over the line they go, a 2-lap sprint for the line, and Dale Gent straight up onto the outside of George Taricki. Michael Smith's having a look on the inside, he's not close enough there, he has to lock up the brakes, and Rhys Jones goes straight off. Oh my goodness, the leader's gone. What on earth happened there? Just too eager to try and hold off Michael Smith, and Smith goes straight through into the lead. Rhys Jones is out of it. My goodness. Was that cold tyres? Did he run out of brakes? I'm not sure. That's a very uncharacteristic mistake by Rhys Jones. Or what was there contact from Michael Smith? I'm not sure. Couldn't see from our angle. We'll try and see that again if we can. Mark Willis in second, Dan Petters in third, then it's Taricki, and behind him Dale Gent. 1 lap to go this time then. Michael Smith in 93, the former double champion, former Formula One stock car driver, leads the way from Mark Willis. Dan Petters in third place. Over the line they come. There's Taricki under attack from Dale Gent. Rest of them come through. There'll be yellow flags out at paddock because that stranded truck of Rhys Jones. Could that affect his points lead? I think George Taricki could take over the championship lead this weekend. It'll all be worked out on the website pickuptruckracing.co.uk. Michael Smith, the man from Hartlepool in the northeast of England, is heading for victory. What a disaster for Rhys Jones. I don't know if there's any contact there as they went into the first corner. So here they come then. Michael Smith in 93, the Offshore Fuels and A1 Performance Products truck. Chased by Mark Willis. I don't think he's going to get there on the run to the line. It's going to be a win for number 93. Here he comes. Michael Smith comes over the line to win pickup trucks race number 2. Mark Willis second, Petters third, then Taricki fourth. Dale Gent comes over in fifth. Dale Gent, I can tell you, got a 10-second penalty in that race. We don't know the reason why as yet, whether it was for a jump start or restarts or another reason, we're not sure. But the results as follows. Michael Smith the winner by half a second ahead of Mark Willis. Dan Petters took third ahead of George Taricki, and that could well put him into the points lead, I reckon. Paul Tompkins fifth, great result for Alan Cooper in sixth place in the 72. Nathan Dew, newcomer this season, seventh, and Jeff Dixon from last on the grid takes eighth ahead of Danny Hunn. Bad luck to him, was running well in the early stages. Roger Dormer gets a top 10 ahead of Lee Rogers, the pole sitter, recovering after a spin. Chris Land was 12th ahead of Jamie Liptrot, Stephen Field, and the penalty for Dale Gent dropping him down to 15th. We lost Rhys Jones on that restart, of course. Simon Ward went into the gravel. Dean Tompkins and Dan Fisher pulled into the pits. James Goldstraw was still running at the checkered flag, but a long way behind after problems. And we lost Richard Ayling into the pits as well.
Congratulations, you got this one over the line, but it was pushed the whole way, and Rhys going off kind of helped matters, didn't it?
Yeah, it did a bit. I don't know what happened going into the first lap after the caution there, but definitely helped and made it a little bit easier. And I only had Mark to look after behind me, so we only had a couple left laps to do.
It was a real sprint finish, wasn't it? But you managed to hold him back. Congratulations, well done. You must be absolutely delighted.
Cheers,
congratulations.
We'll be getting underway with our final race of the weekend fairly shortly, the British Truck Racing Championship. This will be a 15-minute race. Pole position for Division 1 with the reverse grid format being used will once again go to Jonathan Willis, number 157, alongside number 81 of Mark Taylor. Second row 18, John Newell, and number 7, Stuart Oliver. 69, David Jenkins on row 3, alongside number 1, Ryan Smith. And the earlier winner, number 11, Martin Gibson, starts at the back of Division 1 in 7th. Then there's a gap and we get the Division 2 trucks. Number 10, Craig Evans, alongside 5, the rebuilt Volvo of Adam Bintz. I think his team deserve a special award this weekend for their efforts. Brad Smith, number 16, starts alongside Craig Reed in truck 68. Then number 3, Stephen Powell, winner of the previous race. Alongside him, not showing on our grid graphic, but will be number 46, Bradley Smith. Hopefully he's repaired. Went out of race 4 of the weekend towards the end. And behind them we'll hopefully see number 32, Jock Borthwick. We know John Powell is not going to be there, number 6. He withdrew after yesterday, and also as did Simon Cole, number 41, both with engine dramas. Race truck is into pit lane. Willis and Taylor on the front row of the grid. 15 minutes of truck racing coming your way. The final race of the weekend here at Brands Hatch. Revs start to rise. Waiting for the red lights to go out. They do so now. The power comes on and away we go up towards paddock for the first time. Taylor and Willis lead the way into Paddock Hill Bend. Are they all going to make it round? Looks like Division 1 have got round okay. Division 2 led by Adam Bint in the number 5. And they're all round Paddock Bend okay. That is great to see. Stephen Powell trying to slice his way up the inside in Division 2. He's made a good start. Round Druids head the leaders. It's Mark Taylor from Stuart Oliver. Jonathan Willis has dropped back into third. He's going to lose third here because John Newell's new MAN is going to come through. David Jenkins is there on the inside as well. Just behind them, Division 2 led by Adam Bint. Powell already up into second place. Brad Smith third, and Jock Borthwick's made a good start from the back. He's got ahead of Craig Reed and up into fourth place. So it's all chop and change on this opening lap point.
Yes, certainly is. We've got Ryan Smith now looking for a space as we go on board with Martin Gibson just behind Dave Jenkins' truck. We see in his rear view mirror though Ryan Smith looking for every possible opportunity to get past the pair of them. It's extremely tight here for the first couple of laps as we see him now coming down through the Clark curves. Ryan Smith's on the outside lines. Martin Gibson going to come across or try and hold that inside coming around into Paddock Hill Bend. Division 2 Adam Bint seems to be making a fantastic result here, taking right into the front here. A few seconds gap there as Steve Powell struggles to catch up with him. So brilliant performance there from Adam Bint, and what a comeback again.
Ryan Smith got a wheel onto the grass there on the inside of Druids, chasing Martin Gibson. Is he going to be frustrated in his efforts in this one? Oh, he's clipped the back of Gibson going into the Graham Hill Bend and spins across track. Look out, John Willis. Goodness me, that was close. I think there was a bit of contact there. I think he just grazed the front bumper. That could have been very nasty indeed. Goodness me, Jonathan Willis, that was scary as Ryan Smith spun there. He clipped the back of Martin Gibson and spun sideways. That could have been disastrous there, and luckily they have survived that and kept going. Ryan Smith, he was coming in too quickly there on the inside. There wasn't room. He clipped the back of Gibson, went spinning aside. I don't know how Jonathan Willis avoided him there. That was so close. There must have been a couple of inches in it there. He was very lucky not to T-bone Ryan Smith, and in the driver's side of the cab as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if those drivers are pitting for a change of underwear in a couple of laps. There's Flying Ryan. He's got through the Division 2 trucks, which are led by Stephen Powell. He's got past John Willis now as well. There's the battle for the lead in Division 2. John Willis ahead of Brad Smith. Still Newell holding third. Now where's Ryan Smith? Yeah, he's almost caught the third place fight now as Martin Gibson has a go at David Jenkins. There's contact into Paddock Bend. Jenkins is sideways. He's just about saved that, but Ryan Smith says thanks very much, I'll take that place. David Jenkins won't be too happy there. Contact with Gibson, and Ryan Smith says, well, to Martin Gibson, well, if you can do that, I'll do the same to you. Oh, bit of a grudge match developing here, I think.
We're going to see some calls to the race control after this, I believe. Yeah, getting a bit of bump and tickle out there, which of course for the spectators is exactly what they want to see. We look to a replay now as we see them coming down Paddock Hill Bend. Dave Jenkins comes across very tight actually across Martin Gibson as he's almost on the grass already. This of course puts him into a spin. Martin Gibson then avoids the crash by the looks of it, and luckily Dave Jenkins in the 69 manages to pull it back onto the track.
Ryan Smith now into fourth, trying to close in on John Newell. He's nearly 5 seconds down though on John Newell. There's only 2.5 minutes of the race to go. I'm not sure if Smith is going to get any further up here. The lead gap is 1.8 seconds now. Meantime in Division 2 it's nose to tail. Craig Reed is right on the rear axle almost of Stephen Powell. Now we've got a replay from the onboard of Martin Gibson, and we'll see what happened there into Paddock Bend. Tries up the inside. There wasn't really room there on the inside as Jenkins moved across. Take that, David Jenkins, said Martin Gibson, and Jenkins somehow saved the spin, and then as they went, then they go up into Halewood Rise. Martin Gibson thought he'd got the place there and was going to try and chase down the two leaders, and then it was take that Martin from Ryan Smith. Oh, Craig Reed up the inside at Druids. He could take the lead of Division 2 here, and sideways there's more contact. More contact as Powell hits the back of Reed as he tries to slide back in there. Craig Reed's got the lead of Division 2. Has Powell got a problem? It's not like him to fall back like this. Now he forces Adam Bint wide onto the grass as he tries to recover. This is chaos.
It's certainly some exciting racing, but possibly a busy time for BARC, sifting through what needs to be brought to attention or not. Yeah, still looking like a battle for Steve Powell. We go through a replay now as we see Steve Powell coming out of Druids. A bit of contact into the back end of Craig Reed, losing control there across the strips. Adam Bint looking for a space past him, but Craig Reed taking the opportunity and the little kick up the bum to head a bit forward in the edgings. Mark Taylor, though, phenomenal, still ticking along at the front of the pack with just 50 seconds left to go of the race. Let's just hope, you know what, we're not supposed to have favourites, but let's just hope that this is where it sticks.
Well, this was certainly a bruising race, to say the least. I think Steve Powell just put the power down too quickly there coming out of Druids and lost the back end, slid into Craig Reed while trying to defend his position. We're into the last lap of this race now. Mark Taylor, keeping his head while many around him seem to be losing theirs, is heading for his first win of the season. Ryan Smith has made it back up to 4th, and this is the battle in Division 2, but it is now for 2nd place between Stephen Powell and Adam Bint. Craig Reed has got away ahead of them, and he's having a go at Jonathan Willis for 7th overall. Ryan Smith wants a podium place. He's going to have a go at John Newell's beautiful new MAN now, but it's going to be a win for Mark Taylor. He comes out of clearways for the final time. I don't think Ryan Smith's going to get through in the last couple of corners. Here comes Mark Taylor in the number 81, the Taylor's Haulage MAN out of the final corner. Stuart Oliver is not going to catch him, and it's going to be a win for Mark Taylor in truck number 81. There's the checkered flag. Stuart Oliver comes over in second. John Newell holds off Ryan Smith for 3rd place. Martin Gibson takes 5th. And coming through for 6th is going to be the recovering David Jenkins after that half spin at Paddock. 7th we should see Jonathan Willis. Yes, here he comes, and here is our Division 2 winner. Bit of bodywork flapping after that contact late on. Craig Reed is going to win Division 2 in the number 68 Iveco. Runs wide off the final corner there. There's a challenge on for 2nd place. Adam Bint could get 2nd away from Stephen Powell here. Finds himself a bit boxed in there, Craig Reed. Now, who's going to be 2nd in Division 2? They're coming up to the line side by side, and Powell just gets it on the line by 0.1 of a second. Smoke from Brad Smith behind them. Looks like something's blown there. Here's the results of that race confirmed. The win going to Mark Taylor ahead of Stuart Oliver by 1.6 seconds. Well done, Mark. John Newell a fine 3rd for his new MAN. Ryan Smith fighting back to 4th. Martin Gibson, a bruising race on his way to 5th ahead of David Jenkins, and Jonathan Willis caps his debut weekend with 7th. Craig Reed fighting his way past Stephen Powell to take the win in Division 2, taking the win by 1/4 of a second in the end, and Stephen Powell just beating Adam Bint home for 2nd in the division. Brad Smith next ahead of Craig Evans, and Jock Borthwick of course pulled off into the pits.
That was summer race, wasn't it? You kind of managed to control it from the front.
Yeah, we had a good start off the line, and that gave us a good pace to keep in front of everybody. So it was a good race, really, bad way.
Yeah, it makes a big difference, doesn't it? Certainly in these things. But there are overtaking opportunities at Brands, aren't there?
There is, but we are very tight and they don't come on very often. But once you get a lead up in front of everybody, you just got to keep that pace up and just keep at it.
Fantastic. Nice to get the win, right?
Definitely a good end to the weekend.
Top man, Mark. Well done. You were really going toe to toe.
To be honest, it was a bit of a bottleneck, and then the new lads in Division 1 who's just learning, and then Steve got caught behind him, and we were just neck and neck for lap after lap, and I could see Steve's tyres were going off, and I didn't know. I didn't know where to do. Steve's the master around here, and we're just at the top. He just braked him right down. I just nipped him, but there's nothing I could do. So it's what I'll speak to Steve later. But to be honest with you, brilliant. That was an awesome race. Awesome.
I could tell by the smile on your face. Well done, mate. Go on.
Well, that just about wraps things up here at Brands Hatch. Well done to all the competitors in the trucks and the pickups. Thanks to all the volunteer marshals and officials as well. We could not go racing without them. Join us again on Full Throttle soon for more great motorsport action, but it's goodbye for now.